Dave from React Real Estate Coaching System here today to talk to you about a couple of changes that are happening in the market. Now, we commonly refer to the current market that we're in as the new market reality. And the reason I use new market reality terms, which I think I borrowed from the Rex convention last year, is that the world changed when the iPhone essentially was invented and all the apps that go with it. So from 2007 on, the way that people use the internet, the way that people access information will always be changing for a very, very long time. And as the younger generation, the millennials, we'll call them Gen X, Gen Y, grow up through the home buying ages, they're utilizing that technology, as well as their parents now, who have to compete and sort of continue to be a part of their younger millennials' life, so to speak. So if mom wants to talk to the son, she better learn how to text. But it's not just texting, it's a whole bunch of other things. And part of the new market reality, effectively, is something called concierge service. So we wanted to do a 3-part, 4-part series on concierge service because it is really the mentality that we live in today. Now, if you've ever been to one of my seminars, one of my classes, you always hear me talk about the Nordstrom delivery system or the Nordstrom concierge service. If you go into Nordstrom versus, and I hate to pick on Macy's, but we'll say pick on Macy's, and you would like to buy a blue shirt, but instead you would like a white collar to your blue shirt. When you walk into Macy's, the sales rep or customer service rep will direct you to the men's department and indicate that the shirts are over there in that corner. They might even actually help you depending on how busy they are and say, well, here's a blue shirt and here's a white shirt. We don't have any white shirts with blue collars. If you buy one white and one blue, you could take them to your tailor at home and they could put the white collar on the blue shirt and the blue collar on the white shirt, and you'll have two, one of which you don't want. At Nordstrom, basically what they do is they say, we don't have white shirts with blue collars or blue shirts with white collars, but if you're willing to wait 15 minutes, we'll take the blue collar off of the white, blue shirt and put it on the white shirt. And if you don't have the 15 minutes to wait, we'll ship it to you overnight. Now that's the nth degree of customer service, because at that point in time, aside from the assumptive close, because that's what you came there for and that's what you got, and they delivered it essentially not only to you, but for you if you aren't even willing to wait the 15 minutes or whenever the tailor is available. Most likely if you were shopping, that would have been no problem. Now, turn that into a digital age mentality right now. So you're in competition with tons of people who are out there trying to gain the same business and the same leads and the same information and the same connection points that you are. So we have to do something effectively called the digital jump. And the digital jump is bringing your clients from the digital logon, wherever that might be, whether it's phone, app, computer, laptop, iPad, etc., to you, and I hate the word belly to belly, but to a belly to belly relationship. And one of the most effective ways to do that effectively is a very traditional, old style way, which is concierge service. You just got to kill them with the idea that you're willing to go to the nth degree, Nordstrom, to get their business. See, Nordstrom won't necessarily compare on price. They don't have to. You're getting what you're asking for, and you're going to pay for what they deliver because you got what you asked for. So in that scenario, effectively what you can do is you create the opportunity to connect with your client in such a way that it just wows them. We have to talk wow factor because we're competing with so many stimuli these days. Their cell phone is ringing, their texts are buzzing, their apps are clicking, the RMS feed's going off. They've got other things going on in their lives as normal people do. And for you to gain their attention and to feel like they need to talk to you or they need to be, you're important in their lives, you have to create a situation in which that separates themselves. So the very company that we're working with here, Viral Marketing, thank you Frank, thank you Scott. If you aren't using Viral Marketing, you ought to be, and please do call them and set up an appointment with them immediately so that you can do the same types of things that I'm doing right now. is they were trying to get a hold of me. And because we all have busy lives and busy schedules and things like that, and it's snowing outside right now and all that kind of stuff, our lives are impacted. But what the problem was is I wasn't necessarily prioritizing their relationship because I had a lot of other things to do. One of the most ingenious things that they did was they physically sent a concierge to my office. Number one, to sort of prove a point. Number two, to emphasize the point that I was important to them. And so the concierge, a live person, came to my office and said, I was sent here to basically talk to you, make sure you got the message. And the message was they want to talk to me. And to prove that point, she physically had to take a picture of me and her in the office to prove that she was there. Now that was an amazing scenario, because in the same breath, it was almost a little bit insulting, but it wasn't to the point where it was almost ingenious. So it was, that fine line between insanity and genius, well, that's kind of where it was. And so it was almost impossible for me to say, get out of here, because it's so impressive that they sent this person. And on the same breath, it allowed me to kickstart some ideas about the other process, which of course is the concierge service model. See, there is no box anymore. We all want to work within the box, and we all want to say, oh, think outside the box, and that will be the special thing that we do for customers, like send them cookies or do whatever, specialty gifts at closing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Guess what? Everybody does that. And when 2008 came and the mortgage market crashed and the housing market went with it, the box disappeared. There is no more box. So we not only have to think outside the box, we have to think like there is no box. Are there any fish in the sea? Yes. Where are they? Well, they're everywhere, and nobody really knows where they are. So not only do we need to have fish finders, we need to have situations and things where we can sort of rouse them into certain areas so that when we do finally put our line in, a fish bites, and that's exactly what we want. And not only does when the fish bite, when we get it on board or close to the boat, we want to scoop it up with a net. We want to pack it on ice. We want to make sure that it stays fresh. We want to do everything that we can to emphasize the action that we performed, in this case catching a fish. Now in your case it would be getting a client, listing their house, doing whatever. So imagine you were talking to a client and you wanted to emphasize that point, and you were interested in listing their house or whatever the case may be, and you wanted to send them some information that you wanted to be specifically certain that they got. Well, we used to overnight it and they'd have to sign for the package and all kinds of stuff, and that feels important, and there's nothing wrong with that. But go that little extra distance and send the personal concierge, not a messenger service, a concierge. And they're out there, and you can find them in just about every city in the country. And if not, you can probably go to like a pack and ship or something like that, and you'd be surprised what people would do. A Fiverr, something like that, even on eBay. And there would be somebody who would do it relatively inexpensively, physically represent you, understand the relationship, get them the information or the documents that you want them to get, or package that you want them to get, and just wow them. And then have the picture taken. We all have cell phones. Have the picture taken. Use that picture for your own tagging, your own social media platforms, and tag that person in a picture so that everybody sees exactly what's going on. They see it, their friends see it, and it turns into this wow event.